Temple member. And I got a background. Video thingy now.
Yeah, you keep disappearing.
I think if you're not close enough to the camera,
Oh, I'm disappearing, but
yeah, you have to be close to
but
the
I'm
camera.
on the carousel.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for your warm welcome and for introducing my beautiful friend Joe to Jewish Studies, Jewish Services.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a very educational experience.
Please. Okay, we'll sit down, buddies. Okay, here we go. Let's sit back down. How's that,
Hi, Harold
buddies?
and Sandy.
I
see the top of your head right now.
You have a
be with you in a minute.
Oh,
Of
Okay,
course.
proper
Here, I
name.
will give you the cushion seat instead because I am
Yeah, this
I
was
am
just
not one
temporary.
for
This is just temporary.
I
Yeah,
just
let me
pop
give you a
in.
big
Yeah,
hug.
thank you.
I just said hi to Marcia about 10 times.
Thank you so much.
Say hi to
let's see there.
Joe, it was nice meeting you.
Mary.
Good luck to you in that.
Okay. Sandy, Val, how you doing?
Oh,
Shabbat
good.
shalom,
Be
everybody.
in touch. Of
Of course I will.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some emergency where I'm gonna have to come.
Hi,
in,
Laura.
so.
Oh, well, I hope it's always for good stuff.
Hey, Laura, my southern
Oh, hi, Laura.
my southern
Pretty
belle.
good.
She drinking.
Hi,
Marilyn.
Hi.
Visit.
Sure it's not Spike now.
Oh, Dr.
Hey,
Pepper.
you look sharp.
Hello, everybody. Shabbat shalom.
Hi, Ellen.
Hi, everybody.
Shabbat shalom, Alan.
Hi, Ruthie, Bernie. Hi, Alan. Sandy and Hal. Hi, Laura, Sashki.
Here, what-
You go one by one, Shahila.
Yeah, right.
Hello there, Sheila.
Hello.
You just put the first name.
Goodness, my hair is.
We don't talk about
Hi,
hair.
Vicky.
I was had a sinus headache this afternoon, so I took a Sinufed and thought, well, I'll lie down. They have never put me to sleep, but I went sound asleep and woke up, and I was supposed to be at Felice's at 5. I woke up at 5 after 5. So I said, I am just throwing myself together. And I literally did. So
Okay.
Marilyn, I wonder if somehow down the line we could be like,
what?
I said, I wonder if somewhere
Shabbat shalom, Chuck.
my mother's name was Levinson.
Who's?
My mother's maiden name was.
Alan, Shabbat shalom, Alan.
My
Yeah.
family are from Denver.
Your haircut.
From where?
Denver.
Oh, no.
From where?
Far, far away.
Yeah.
We're from Connecticut.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Can we do dessert?
Yeah, right.
There are a lot of Levinsons out
Oh,
there.
God,
Hello,
forever.
buddy. Hey, Mara, how are you doing?
Crazy.
Good, how are you?
That just happened to be
Okay,
there.
thank
Sorry.
you. You have a big dog, right?
No, I have the little one. Mine's the big one.
You have the little one. Oh, okay. I think I saw the two of them, what was it, last week?
Yeah, they were together.
One was, yes.
Wish I saw the puppy.
Uh-huh, that's cute.
Ruth and
That's
Bernie,
nice.
when are you going to Dallas?
Are you comfortable?
May, we're talking about May.
But I'm thinking, we're
Everybody's
thinking
got
about going
mixed
in
up.
May
so-
also.
Everybody getting ready to travel?
Yep.
Yes.
Few
Mar,
months.
Mar and I are getting our first shot on Sunday. They just started people who work with kids.
That's awesome.
It's
My second one today.
Good.
Marcia, we
Excellent.
got ours. Was that at the very, very beginning?
That's
Yeah,
good.
it just
Yes.
started, right? Yeah.
How's Dan? He's all better? I see him. Yeah, you look good.
Getting there.
He's getting stronger every day.
Good.
Dan's home.
That's
Yeah, he's
because
home.
you're
Shabbat
feeding
shalom,
him so
Karen.
well.
Welcome, Karen. Hello, James. Hi,
You don't wanna go-
Joanne.
You don't want to go to the hospital, though. That place can kill you.
Jim, Jay.
That's-
You're right.
He's home now.
Yeah. Thank God he's home.
Good.
I don't know why my iPad picks up. I've got the service on my iPad, but I have the iPad on airplane mode. And I don't know why my name comes in addition to my video.
Why do you have it on airplane mode?
Yeah, why?
Well, because it
I've got
was showing up when it wasn't on airplane mode. So I tried to lock it out before I opened the Zoom on my laptop.
So it's
And
open on both.
Isn't
it's
there
open
a,
on both, except it shouldn't have been communicating since it was on airplane mode,
Yeah.
I think.
I have my iPad open for the service, for the booklet, but it doesn't show up on here.
I know. All of a sudden it's doing that. And I
Guy, isn't he?
I don't
Joe,
know.
he's a nice guy.
He
He
is.
is. He's such a
He
lovely
is.
young man.
Hey, Cheryl.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Your background.
Where's the help desk when you need them?
Charlie? You guys are in the wrong seats?
You can.
Yeah, in the wrong seat. Excuse me, can I see your ticket?
Look at the bottom thing. Get more people now. Screen, go down. They gotta move to the second screen.
Yeah.
Better,
And then, oh,
huh? Bigger.
Hi, Charlie.
I don't want to
With
try
that
it.
background, you keep fading in and out. We could be in somebody else's third screen.
You see yourself?
Yeah,
We always have that corner because we do it.
and you kind of flash.
Yes, it's just,
Ruthie and I always used to meet up at Talbot's.
Oh. Where's that?
I don't know why, but I get a little, like, not tech. But I strive for it. Like, today I actually got the background up, but now I don't know how to get it.
Let me try something. Okay, I can always come back.
Hey, Rabbi.
I can always come back. I want to try something.
Shabbat shalom. Hi, Rabbi.
Bye, Shalom.
Welcome
Shabbat
home,
shalom,
baby.
Rabbi.
Shalom, Rabbi.
Shabbat shalom.
Hey, Marilyn.
Hello.
Hi, Marilyn.
Hello.
Did you get to
Hi,
meet
Rabbi
everyone?
Bob.
Yeah.
Hey there, Rabbi
You're
Bob.
Good with people.
And Marilyn.
Hello.
Rhoda's here,
Hey,
good.
That's-
Oh.
That's nice.
I missed you.
Carolyn, I've looked through my settings and I'm not finding why that's happening for you. I'm sorry.
It started happening. It didn't always happen.
Yeah.
But
I think if your iPad or phone was updated recently, they sometimes, when you download new software, they change the defaults.
Have
That
you
maybe.
turned off your phone and your iPad and turned it back on again?
I'll try that.
Yeah, I would do that.
I don't know if I'll try
That
it.
doesn't
It may
work,
not
Marilyn.
open
Drop
up
it on the
the,
floor.
it may not
Hi,
open
Jean.
up
Shabbat shalom,
the,
Jean.
how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
That's good.
Let's see here.
I shall return.
Just
Marilyn, if that
Yes.
doesn't work, drop it on the floor.
Stop on.
Hello, Jonathan. Shabbat shalom, Jonathan.
Shabbat shalom.
How are you?
I'm
Are
good.
you
How are
home?
you?
I'm okay. Are you home or are you out in wherever?
I'm home. I'm home.
You're
My
home.
mind
That's
might be
good.
in wherever, but I'm here.
Hey,
Physically.
Jean.
Please keeps
All right.
disappearing.
Oh,
Please.
here I am.
Okay. There you are. Okay.
This is Vicky, but it says Felice, but it's Vicky.
the ghost.
You keep coming in and out.
I'm disappearing because something has to do with the background and I'm not sure what to do about it.
How do you just disable the background? I don't
Hey,
remember.
Lisa.
Hi, Mary
Rhoda.
Ellen.
Hi, Sheila.
How are you?
You look like them.
Hi,
Oh, hello.
Vicky.
There she goes again.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi.
It's good to see
Jackie.
Oh,
This is interesting.
Hi, Marilyn.
Hi. I think this is not gonna go away since it's already there.
So I never know if he's watching or participating.
I mean, if you want to be seen, that's fine. We'll just sit on the couch.
To really find it.
Yeah, he's muted.
Carolyn.
I love seeing all
your
faces.
Yes, very.
Good.
mm,
Hi, Carolyn.
Hi, neighbor.
Carol and Kat, bye-bye. Shalom, my friend. Good to see you.
So I've muted everybody so y'all can hear me say, I'm going to mute everybody now and turn this over to Canterbury. Cantor, if you could unmute yourself. I don't see you on my list, so.
I'm here. Thank you, Mary Ellen. Mary Ellen has laryngitis, friends. That was Mary Ellen, even though it didn't sound like Mary Ellen. So we're going to list her for Misha Barach later because we want a complete healing over there as well. Thank you so much. So I'm going to put my headphones down so that I don't have the big Mickey Mouse ears, and then pick up the guitar, and we'll get started tonight with a little Hine Matov, get us in the mood to welcome Shabbat. And we'll go with a nice traditional Hine Matov. Hine Matov Manai, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Manai, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Shevet Achim. top of page 1 of our service. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days, lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. We head over to page 2 to light our Shabbat candles. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who join us in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu להדליק נר של השבת. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat. We turn over to the bottom of page 3. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. And we welcome now the Shabbat Bride with the words of Lecha Dodi at the top of page 4. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabla. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'diburecha, ishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litfila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabla. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor ha'bracha, me'rosh mikedem, nisilcha sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala,
Shabbat Toreri, Kiva Orech, Uri, Shir Daberi, Kivod Adonai Alayich Nigla, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, Shabbat Nikamela, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, Shabbat Nikamela. Boim Shalom Ateret Bala, Gam Besimcha Uvetzohala, Toch Emunei Am Sigula, Boi Chala, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, Shabbat Nikamela, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, Shabbat Nikamela. Yitkada Shmei Rabbah, Yamadi Frachirote, Yamlich Machute, Bechai Hechon of Yom Hechon, Uvchai Decho Beit Yisrael, Bagala, Uvismahan Kariv, Vimeru, Amen. Yehesh Mirabah Mevorach, Le'alam Olmei Amaya, Yitbarach, Vishtabach, Vitpa'ar, Vitramam, Veitnase, Vitadar, Vitalal, Shmeir Kutshabarihu, Le'lamin Kober Chata, Veshirata, Tush Bechata, V'nechemata, Damiran Miyama, Vimeru, Amen. We find ourselves together the middle of page 5, and we rise either in body or in spirit for our call to prayer. Yalalai, 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 Baruchu et Adonai, Hamevorach, Baruch Adonai Haborach, Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam, 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 Le'olam. Le'olam, 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 le'olam. Yalalai, 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 yalalai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are the creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, for transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. The bottom of page 6. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people, Israel. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Let us be seated. This evening we'll continue together at the bottom of page 7 with our translation of the words of the Vehafta. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. We continue at the top of the next page. Standing on the parted shores of history. We still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, and that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh nora tehila oseh feleh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh nora tehila oseh feleh. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Malachutecha ra'u vanecha okei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam Zelianu, Anu ve'amru, Malchutcha, Malchutcha, Rabu fanecha, Okei hayam, Mifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Zelianu, Anu ve'amru, Adonai Imloch Le'olam Va'ed. Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai, who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai, who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. We turn to page 9, and we find the words of Hashkivenu, our prayer of protection for the evening. And our song begins with the Hebrew in the middle of the page, Ushmor Tseitenu Uvoenu, Lechayimu Shalom, Me'ata ve'ad olam. Guard our coming and going to life and to peace forevermore. Ushmor Tzeitenu Uvoenu, Lechayim U'Shalom, Me'ata ve'ad olam, Me'ata ve'ad olam, Me'ata ve'ad olam. And at the top, Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Lehamidenu Shomrinu Lechaim, U'Rosalinu Sukat Shilonecha, Me'ata ve'ad olam, Me'ata ve'ad olam, Me'ata ve'ad olam. Ushmor Tzeitenu Uvoenu, Lechaim u'Leshalom, Me'ata ve'ad olam, Me'ata ve'ad olam, Me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Lehamidenu Shomrinu Lechaim, U'Rosalinu Sukat Shilonecha, Me'ata ve'ad olam, 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 Me'ata ve'ad olam. And at the top of page 10, we find the words to Vishamru. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל עודי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. The bottom of the page. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. We continue at the top of page 11. You are blessed. My microphone disconnected from the computer, but that's okay, we'll start again. You are blessed, you are holy. You are blessed and you are praised. You are blessed and you are faithful to the ones who praise your name. You are kind and you are healing. You are cleansing of my soul. You are loved and pure and gracious. You are real and make me whole. Adonai שפתי תפתח, וכי יכיר תהילתך. They'll show through your graces. Open up my lips. Open up my lips. Now my connection's unstable, so I'm gonna try to keep going. You are wise and you are sparing. You are merciful and clean. You are utter perfection, no more wrong directions. I love and I am He. Adonai Svatay Tivtach, Ki Tehilatecha. Open my lips for your praises, they'll show through your graces. Open up my lips. Open up my lips. Open up my lips. We can rise together now. As we begin the tefillah, we'll recite those words once more together, the Adonai Svatay, and move through the Amidah together. Adonai Svatay Tivtachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei hakol, V'zocher chastei avot ve'imahot, U'mevii geula livnei v'neihem, L'ma'an shemo b'yahava. Melech ozer u'moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atarav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morid haga Hashem. Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim v'rofei cholim, U'matir asurim. Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot umido melach, melech memit umechaya umatzmiach Yeshua, v'neman atal hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yahalalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai hakadosh. Let us be seated and turn to the top of page 13. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. The bottom of the page. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt. In our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. And at the top of page 14, God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Shalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Yitzhak Melech Adon Lechol Shalom. Yitzhak Melech Adon Lechol Shalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov v'necha levolech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. 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 Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. We'll take a moment now for our own silent prayers. Oh, say shalom, shalom, bimrama. Uya say shalom aleinu. V'yako Yisrael, v'imanu amen. Uya say shalom aleinu, Yako Yisrael. Amen. Oh, say shalom,
Shalom Bimroma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu. V'yako Yisrael, V'yimalu Amen. V'yako Yisrael. We'll turn our thoughts now to those who are in need of healing. We pray for family, friends, and members of this congregation, and for everyone who is injured or ill in body or in spirit. Actually, I wanted to share with you this evening a poem that came today from the Union for Reform Judaism, a beautiful poem by Alden Salavi, specifically for those in the world who have been affected by COVID-19. It was here. There it is. Here it is. I'm going to read this first, and then I'm going to go ahead and read our list so you have lots of time to enter names into the chat box that you'd like to add. This poem is called One by One, a prayer as the COVID-19 death toll mounts. God of consolation, surely you count in heaven just as we count here on earth. In shock and in sorrow, the souls sent back to you one by one, the dead from the COVID pandemic. As the ones become tens, the tens become hundreds, the hundreds become thousands, the thousands become 10,000s, and then 100,000s. Each soul a heartbreak, each soul a life denied. God of wisdom, surely in the halls of divine justice, you are assembling the courts, calling witnesses to testify, to proclaim the compassion of some and the callousness of others as we've struggled to cope. The souls taken too soon, whose funerals were lonely, who didn't need to die, who died alone, who'll tell their stories when you judge our triumphs and our failures in these hours of need. God of healing, an end to this pandemic and in all illness and disease. Bless those who stand in service to humanity. Bless those who grieve. Bless the dead, so that their souls are bound up in the bond of life eternal. And grant those still afflicted with disease or trauma a complete and lasting healing, one by one, until suffering ceases and we can stop counting the dead in heaven and on earth. We're especially thinking this evening of Carol Babcock, Rosalie Teddy Bono, Peggy Saren Clark, Tom Davis, Devora Bot Rachel, the Elkin family, Howard Enzel, Art Fields, Deborah Gunn, Alan Halperin, Margaret Hare, Mary Hartman, Robert Kay, Janet Kennedy, Mike Klitinick, Marilyn Levitt, Teresa Levy, Barbara McDonald, Gary Nadler, Naomi Nagel, David Osofsky, Laura Osofsky, Buddy Pollock, Jean Posen, Joyce Racklin, Randall Rout, Sandra Resnikoff, Alex Rosen, Stephanie Sibilia, Judy Shea, Ruthie Silver, Ron Sohn, Brinley Standridge, Micah Standridge, Bernice Tobias, Ruth Van Alstine, Judy Van Gorder, Dan Weinstock, Todd Zetlin. Can we add to those names this evening? Just give me one moment. Carol Davis, Sally Constain, Evelyn Seltzer-Kahn, Marilyn Berge, Adele and Harold Cohen, Ben Burford, Samantha Denmark, David Kogo, Kathy Schwartz, Nicholas Sobek, Karen Mitchum, Michael Israel, Rabbi Elizabeth Bahar, Debbie Barefoot, Larry Woolfolk, Rick Montoy, Annette Amsel, Sam Barkley, Lori Kurland, Lisa Emanuel, Scott Wolfson, Mary Ellen Hathaway, and the entire Zetlin family. For all of those whom we have named aloud, and the many, many souls that we are thinking of who are in need of healing, we join our voices together with our Misha Berach in the middle of page 17. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishe berach imotenu v'kol habracha l'amortenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. It's my honor now to invite Rabbi Goodman to unmute himself as he delivers us some words this evening. Thank you so much, Rabbi.
Details, right? As always, it's a pleasure to be here with you tonight. And the beautiful poem that you just shared from URJ really resonates with me, as you will see as I share my thoughts with you. I call it God, COVID, and Faith. It's been a year since the COVID crisis descended upon us, just more than a year. 500,000 plus people have succumbed to this horrible affliction. 500,000 families been torn apart by their losses, and it is not over. These numbers are so large that they're virtually incomprehensible to us. How do you put your head around that? One person in every 11 in our country has dealt with COVID so far. Scary number. We find some comfort when we do the numbers and it tells us that only one person out of 650 or 60 has in fact died. Sort of comforting. That is, until we are faced with the death of someone near and dear to us. Then it's all different. Then we are face to face with the painful reality of our loss. It's not a vague number. We can't run away from it. We can't hide behind the numbers. Just last week, I was faced with the painful task of saying goodbye to a young member of our congregational family who was barely half of my age. I spent 2 days struggling, trying to find the right words that might bring a little bit of comfort, a little bit of understanding to the grieving family. It was a painfully difficult process for me. How do we make sense out of this reality? It's virtually incomprehensible. Just imagine for a second that you are a rabbi or a cantor faced with the task of helping such a family. How would you help them to deal with their loss? How would you try to make sense out of this terrible picture? Can you even give the mourners any answers that might make sense out of their loss? We might ask, where does God fit in all of this? Did God abandon us in our time of need? And we might even ask, is there a God there to help us out? In every book of our Hebrew Bible and in every book in the New Testament, God is, with one exception, God is seen as all-powerful, omnipotent, all-knowing, omniscient, and present everywhere, omnipresent. To the people of the ancient world, and to most of us as well, God calls all of the shots. Simply put, God rewards the righteous and punishes the sinner. End of discussion. But I think most of us recognize that there are no neat answers, no neat explanation for the ultimate question of religion. We call it theodicy, the question of innocent suffering. Why do bad things happen to good people is the basic underlying problem facing virtually every religion. Many of us see the above explanation as simplistic. It just doesn't work. There are so many exceptions. Natural disasters afflict everyone alike. It rains on the good guy and the bad guy equally. There's no distinction. There are truly evil people in the world who indiscriminately wreak havoc on our lives, and they don't select the good people or the bad people. The Hitlers of the world have no use for morality. There seems to be, and this is a key word, randomness in all of this. Human suffering has no logic. It's random. That to me is a key word. Things happen. Only, and only the book of Job challenges this long-held assumption about God. God and Satan are talking at the beginning of the book. Now, Satan in Judaism is not the devil. He's the adversarial angel. We don't have a devil in formal Jewish thinking. It's there in folklore. It's there in superstition. But it's not a part of our regular vocabulary. Satan here, Satan, is the adversarial angel. He's the man, if you pardon the expression, plays devil's advocate with God. I can't think of a better way to put it. So they agreed to test Job and see if this ultimately righteous man, the most righteous man that God could think of, could handle one terrible affliction after another. Loss of family, loss of his livestock, loss of his possessions, all kinds of illnesses inflicted upon him. And if he could endure all of this without rejecting God, without cursing God. And Job insists that he doesn't deserve it. He didn't do anything to deserve this horrible suffering. 4 so-called comforters come to him. Each one gives him a variation of the theme, you must have done something bad, otherwise you wouldn't be suffering. 3 times from each one. That's 12 doses of saying you had to have done something horrible to merit this suffering or to get this. And Job calls out to God and says, God, what's going on? Explain to me. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. Why are you doing this to me? And if you look at the end of the book of Job, near the end, God doesn't really give him an answer. God kind of issues a put down. He says, chutzpah, punk, where were you when I made the heaven and the earth? I did all this, created this beautiful world. Were you there? How can you question my ways? You simply a human being, a fallible human. And you're going to have to live without an answer. And Job does. I don't think he was happy about it. Certainly wouldn't be. Yes, God gave him his possessions back. He had more children. But a minor detail. He couldn't bring back those who had died. He couldn't bring back loved ones who could no longer be a part of his life, other than in memory. I recently had a conversation with a man who describes himself as a deeply religious, conservative Christian. And we were talking about Job. And to him, he says, he doesn't have a problem with this. Why? Because there had to be a reason that God did this. This is a part of God's plan. There was a divine reason for this suffering. And we, in our faith, have a path to salvation. It's beyond our understanding, yes, but I trust God. I have faith that God had a reason for that. And when he said that, I'm thinking about some poems and readings that I've had and used over the years. When a child dies, what do you say to the family? And I can't accept the idea that God needs that child more than we do, more than the parents do. It does bring some comfort, however. It's one of the few things we can say. So for others of us, probably for most of us, this answer is not satisfactory. We cannot take this leap of faith. I respect my friend's right to believe this way, but it doesn't work for me. If it works for him and brings him comfort, all the more power to him. There are many paths to God. Job questions whether God does call all of the shots. Natural disasters and plagues may even be beyond God's power to prevent or stop. God, I believe, created the universe, created the world we live in, gives it direction, and I'll say more in a moment or two. But maybe God is not truly all-powerful. This we call the concept of a limited God. Kind of a strange concept, but it's there. What about the Hitlers and the Stalins and other evil people, past and present? We teach in the Ethics of the Fathers, Pirkei Avot, all is foreseen, yet free will is given. And we could talk about that statement in wisdom and still have things to say at the end of an hour and a quarter, an hour and a half of discussion. God may know all that we will do, may know us so well that God knows what we're going to do, but we still have the power to make those choices and do. And God could be wrong. That we call free will. And perhaps that's a way to explain that kind of evil. For many of us, God, however, we understand God, is kind of on the sidelines until we find ourselves in the proverbial foxhole. Then we turn to God for help. If it seems that God is not hearing our prayers or is not listening, we're tempted to think, well, God has abandoned us. My Christian friend makes a powerful point here. He states, if we nurture an ongoing connection with God in our lives, however we understand that, we can more easily find spiritual support in our time of need. That we're kind of tuned into that. Knowing that God is with us is much more important to them than any explanation why. After many years of searching, I've come to a personal faith decision. To me, the world makes no sense without God, without a spiritual presence to sustain me in this confusing world. I have discovered that I do not have to be in a worshipful or spiritual mode, whatever that means, to feel connected to God. And I confess for a long time, I felt that if I couldn't find that special feeling, I was missing the boat. But I learned that God is a force for good in the universe, in our world, in our lives. A being who created the world gives it direction. God's continual presence in my life offers me the strength and the courage to face the unanswerable questions. I know that I'm not alone, that I have an invisible partner with whom I can share my struggles and my joys. This is a statement of faith. I can't prove it. It's not, it's faith. And to me, the world doesn't make sense without that. And for each of us, we need to find our place, to find what makes sense and is meaningful to us. Does God answer our prayers? Hopefully so, or sometimes. But when I feel that God has not personally responded to me, to my individual prayers, I know that I can tap God's huge reservoir of love, caring, strength, and courage. And if you look at the prayers in our service, you will see this idea pervades so many of the beautiful prayers we read. To me, this is one of the perks of faith. We know that we're not alone. That reservoir is there for everyone, however that person approaches God. But there's one more component to my spiritual narrative. We are a part of a vibrant Jewish faith community. We find strength in each other. When we see each other on Zoom, we feel connected. When I saw some of our congregants yesterday at the funeral services, I felt a joy in seeing them, a gratitude to them for being there, to offer love and support for the family. We are part of a community of kindred souls. When we could worship with Canterbury and Rabbi Address, at first when we finally got onto the live streaming and the like, I loved it. I was so overjoyed to see everybody without not being behind a mask and see you, period. But something was still missing. And then Canterbury was able to lead us in worship as a religious community in our spiritual home, in our sanctuary, in our sacred Jewish space. And boy, did that make a difference. It just was the missing piece. Hopefully, we will soon be back together in our temple, person to person, very soon. Padajewski wrote some great plays, including one that won an Academy Award Network, The 10th Man, a whole play looking for a 10th man for a minion, in one of the few non-Jewish communities in Nassau County in Long Island, Mineola, the county seat. And he also wrote a modern version of Job called J.B. The story follows the plot lines in Job, but when his trials and tribulations are ended, where does J.B. find comfort? But in family, in love. They bring him redemption and peace. Hopefully, our Jewish family will help us find the wholeness that has come under attack from this COVID crisis. I have the faith that this will happen. And let us continue to hang in there together and have faith in God and each other. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much, Rabbi Goodman. We're going to turn now to the middle of page 18 as we rise either in body or in spirit for Aleinu. עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Be seated once again. I'm going to ask everyone to turn to the middle of page 19 for the beautiful words of Hannah Senish, the poem Yesh Kochavim. And at this time as well, if you have names that you're going to want to add to our yard site list for this evening, you can go and enter them in our chat box now. There's stars up above, so far away we only see their light, long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we love. The memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us as we live our days. These are the ways we remember. We remember as we live our days. These are the ways we remember. We remember. Yesh kochavim sharam magia arza, rak asher hem atzmam avdu leinam. Yesh anashim sheziv zichram meir, kasher hem atzmam einam od bitocheinu. Orot eile hamaviki becheshkot halayim, heim shemarim l'adam et haderech as we live our days. These are the ways we remember. We remember. This Shabbat, we observe a period of Shiva for Carol Brody. In the period of Shloshim, we end the period of Shloshim for Arnold Kaur. And we observe for Anna Elenoff and Frederick Enzel. And this is the yard site this Shabbat for Francis Zabofsky, Hortense Arno, Stanley Baer, Esther Blumenthal, Pat Bajorian, Joseph M. Carlin, Fanny Evans, Paul Figura, Mark Finkel, Herman Foster, Bessie Freundlich, Sarah G. Glickstein, Sam T. Green, Bertie Himes Greenwood, Natalie Glickstein Haas, Teresa Hamowitz, Ellis Hardy, J. Henry Hildebrandt, Dr. Joseph Honigman, Carol Horahan, Ben Jenkins, Norman Katz, Marlene J. Nieberg, Dina Kossoff, Jacqueline, Michael Meiselman, Harriet Mills, Ingrid Moss, Neil Fletcher Portnoy, Ben Rosenberg, Ann Sanders, Shirley Shafir, Robert Duke Seidman, Abram Simon, Marjorie Spivak Stone, Alan Tucker, Ethel L. Young. And we add to those names this evening Larry Burke, R. L. Balu, Stephen Israel, Harriet Storick. For all of those whom we've named aloud, and those we hold dear in our hearts, and those who we think of when we look up at the stars in the sky, let us rise together as a community to extol God's name with the words of Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 20. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam ul'almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudsha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the maker of peace on high make peace on us and to all Israel, and to all those who mourn, to which we say, amen. We can be seated once more. And I invite now our President, David Kaufman, for our announcements this evening.
Good evening, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Cantor, for a lovely service tonight. And thank you, Rabbi Goodman, for your words as well. Tomorrow morning Torah study continues with Canterbury at 9 o'clock, followed by morning worship at 10:30. Monday evening, March 8th, Intro to Judaism continues with Rabbi Raskin. And on Tuesday morning, Rabbi Goodman will lead us in wisdom class. Also, next week, March 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, each evening beginning at 6:30, we will be hosting a number of focus groups that will be led by our search committee for our lifelong educator that we are in the process of searching for. The focus groups will be used to help inform us as we put our application together for that position. So I encourage you to pick one of the focus groups. They're each based on interest areas. So Monday night, we'll focus on adult ed and wisdom years. Tuesday evening will be preschool and school age families. Wednesday will be bar and bat mitzvah and confirmation families. And Thursday will be youth group related. So I encourage you, if you fit into one of those categories, to log in and participate in those focus groups. Ben's Kosher Deli will be at Temple. You can put your order in for your deli. They must be in by March the 12th and then picked up on Sunday, March the 14th between 1 and 3. This is a fundraiser also to help Temple, so we hope you'll participate. The menu and ordering details are on our website. The following week, I'm really excited to announce that with the COVID numbers beginning to reduce and people getting vaccinated, we are going to do a live event. It's really in two parts. You may know that we are in the process of developing a biblical garden out in front of Temple that we're doing in conjunction with Reverend Dr. Bez from Christ the Messiah Church down the road from us. We will be doing a planting of a tree in honor of Goldie Lansky. That will be a centerpiece of that garden. That planting will take place on Wednesday, the 17th, around noon. If you want to come out and just see that tree planted. But the bigger event will be that Saturday evening, when we will dedicate the Biblical Garden, which is being sponsored by Dr. Larry Cantor and Kathy Cantor. We will be dedicating that Biblical Garden, and we will follow that with Havdalah service led by Cantor at 7 o'clock. So 6:45 for the dedication, 7 o'clock for Havdalah. As we do this, please remember that we still have all the COVID protocols in place, so you'll need to make sure you're wearing a mask and remain socially distanced. But it's been way too long since we've been together in person, and this is our first opportunity, so I'm looking forward to that. All these and other activities are all, as usual, in Temple Times and on our website. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and you can see our recorded services and programs on YouTube. So with that, I wish everybody Shabbat Shalom. Have a good week, and we'll see you soon.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Dave. So at the bottom of page 20, you'll find our Kiddush. If you have your Kiddush wine at home, please raise it as well. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hakafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzanu. V'shabbat kodsho me'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat l'chaim. Make a motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. And we're going to conclude this evening on page 21 towards the top. Those beautiful words lichi lach and lech lecha, to a land, go to a land that I will show you, and I will make of you a blessing. Lechi lach, to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. On your journey, I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. And I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. To the place that I will show you. לשמחת חיים, לשמחת חיים, לשמחת חיים, לתהילה. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Shabbat Shalom.
It's gotta be.
Beautiful, Kansas.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Cantor.
Thank you.
Beautiful service and you, Rabbi Goodman. Sermon, Rabbi Goodman. Sermon, Rabbi.
Nice.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Beautiful.
shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Bernie and Jackie.
Shabbat
Take care,